Greetings, greetings, Facebook. Thought I'd make this real quick video. This video has actually been made before. I made oh man, it was a long video. And when you make videos as opposed to going live, there are videos that I've made that I never released. I never put out there. And just because maybe I felt like maybe the content could have been better, or I could have communicated a little better, or things like that. This one I had sat on. I made it, I had sat on, but for some reason I just wasn't pleased with it. But I think now I'm gonna go ahead and make it in light of something that just went happen. And this video I'm making this video about these so-called ex-pastors. And I had called out a specific pastor, ex-pastor, in this video, and I'm probably going to do that in this video as well. I guess the best way to start is to start. I'm outside. Is to start. I want to say it was about a year or so ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. I'm sure everybody remembers when ex-pastor, quote-unquote, Kevin Wesley came out and said, "I can no longer believe the Bible," and I tried to defend it. I tried everything I could. I tried, but I couldn't, and so now, I'm putting the Bible down and all these kind of things. And there's starting even seemingly to be a whole movement. It's not that big. There's been at least, since him, at least two or maybe three other pastors, maybe two other pastors, ex-pastors I've seen. Of course, the main ringleader of this movement would be someone like Dr. Ray Hagins. Here's the interesting thing. Because I know people that were possibly taken in. Oh man, this is a pastor. This is a pastor. So maybe I need to maybe I need to look into this. Or maybe there's something that we're not being told. And he drugged some people out there with him. But here's the thing and people, if they're not careful, are so gullible. The fact that people even gave ear to him, though, shows that there is still I would say, an inherent respect that people have for people that are of the cloth, so to speak. But here's the thing with ex-pastor, so-called ex-pastor Kevin Wesley. The sad thing is, it was convincing to those that maybe, and I'm going to say this first, anybody that was convinced by ex-pastor Kevin Wesley, so-called ex-pastor Kevin Wesley's first video, anybody that was impressed by that and that shared it, I'm talking about shared it like if they really were hearing something and thought, oh man, I got to look into this and all this thing. Anybody that did that, you're gullible. Let me just say it like that. You're very gullible. You're very gullible, and I don't mean that to be harsh. I don't mean that to be whatever. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put this on YouTube. This one's gonna go on YouTube as well. I have a YouTube page. It's just sitting there. I'm gonna put this on YouTube, and hopefully he'll see it. Hopefully he'll see the guy that he's been talking to on Facebook periodically. Here a little there. And I'm coming at Pastor Wesley, ex-pastor Kevin Wesley, this way, not because I hate him. I don't hate ex-pastor Kevin Wesley. I pray that he comes out of whatever he's in and gets saved. I don't know if I'm praying for his quote restoration, because I tend to think that what he's done is made up. I tend to think that he never was a pastor. And hopefully if he sees this video, I've approached him about it, but I don't think he knows why I said First of all, I'm someone who's went through the process of being licensed, uh, went through the process of even I have an ordination card, um, um, you know, and so I went through that process, um, and there are certain things, even if you just go through, if you're not going through, maybe if you go through a school of ministry, if you go through a Bible college, especially if you go through seminary, uh, but even at some of your most basic training spots, there are certain basic things you're going to learn. And some of the things he was saying in that initial video gave him away. Like, I don't know anyone with any intelligence uh, as it pertains to the Christian faith that would say Christianity was created at the Council of Nicaea. There's a lot of problems with that. First of all, we have volumes, not just a volume. We have volumes of writings from the early church fathers, or the ante-Nicene, pre-Nicene fathers. Some of these date back to the first century. Council of Nicaea was third century. Number two, there was a creed before the Nicene Creed called the Apostles' Creed. Number three, there was a fire in Jerusalem that was blamed on, according to the historical record, Tacitus talks about it, was blamed on Christians. So, if Christianity was created in the third century AD, what do we do with all this information? Solid information. And then you got to think about the fact. You got to think about the fact that I think it was one of the, if not the oldest church on the planet, is first century church in Africa, I believe. So what do you do with that? What do you do with that solid information that's out there? What do you do with that? So that was one major thing that he said. But he has said numerous things. And then, to be honest, I looked at when he claimed to have left and everything. I went on his Facebook page because I already felt something in my spirit about this individual, and so I went back on his Facebook page. I mean, I went back to at least the summer, probably even a little bit sometime early, probably mid to early summer, and he still sounded like one of the Hotep, or at least Ray Hagen's type of guys. He didn't sound like a pastor. Because, I mean, if you were pastoring all the way up to then, at least, the way he was talking, at least you would have kind of continued your front or whatever until December, when you finally said, you know what, I can't do it no more. I didn't see any evidence of that on his page. It's possible he could have erased it, but all I seen on there was black nationalist, or at least black consciousness, thank you, Jesus, black consciousness type things. I erase black nationalists, but black consciousness type stuff. So, I guess my point is, the at least the three former pastors that I've encountered, I think that this is a strategy by the black consciousness community. I think these people have never pastored, ever. I think him. I wish I could think of the other guy's name, and I would say his name. But these people have never pastored. Bottom line, they've never pastored. I don't believe they have. And if they have, none of them has proven. One guy, I forgot the other guy's name. He at least had some of his story kind of together, but there were some things he did, because there was a group of us that confronted him on his page when he was trying to debunk Christianity, and so we came on his page. And I wish I could remember this individual's name, but he messed up. I mean, his strategy was to have a book by Norman Geisler on Christian apologetics. But one thing I thought about later on when I looked at that is the book he had by Norman Geisler was his newer version of that book, or with a newer design. I have the old version. I have the version. So if he'd been pastoring all that time, it's kind of he kind of debunked himself when he did that, because it's like, okay, you were pastor all this time. You used Norman Geisler's book when you were pastoring. You said. But the thing about it is, if you use that book, why do you have the new version of it? You don't have the old version of it, or with the old design. So anyway, the analysis I have of Pastor Wesley in particular is this: he appears to be somebody, and I'm going to say this too. I also have a friend who's done further research on Pastor Wesley. Knows his former rap alias name, and has found some other things about him. I'm not going to ruin that for him, but I'm just speaking what I'm talking about now. But so-called ex-pastor Kevin Wesley is a fraud. He's never pastored. I don't believe he's ever pastored. And any of you that fell for that, I pray that you re-examine what you think about this individual. Re-examine your faith in God. You know what I'm saying? Re-examine the historicity of Christ, because this individual is a fraud. And what it appears to me is, this is an individual that felt like that he had a message, saw he wasn't getting any traction, and came up with something that would get him some traction. Because from what I can remember, he didn't seem to have that many followers and everything when I look back at his early stuff. Now he got clothing lines, he got conferences, or at least seminars, and he came out with rap videos and everything like that. This was a strategy, and now this individual has a movement to go to his conferences. There was a charge. He charges apparently for T-shirts and whatnot. I don't know. Nor am I saying I know what these things are going to. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say they're going to him. But what I am saying is, this individual needed traction. And so, in order to give credibility to what he was doing, he said, "I'm an ex-pastor. I'm of the cloth. I'm of the cloth. I am of the cloth. I know people of the cloth. And the ones that I've talked to that are aware of Pastor Kevin Wesley, that are studied men of God that I know, that I've inboxed and everything, all have kind of pretty much the same agreement, and that is, they have a hunch that he never was a pastor." So that's all I have to say. This is going to be my first YouTube video. So that's been a long time coming. Hopefully I'll get it uploaded by tonight. And this is going to be one of many Facebook videos. Grace and peace.